Okay, guys, I think we're on. We have our next speaker, and the next speaker is going to talk about Chainlink data feeds, and is Michael Robinson. He's a product marketing manager at Chainlink Labs. He creates, launches, and drives the continued growth of Chainlink's suite of industry-leading products. He's involved in the entire product life cycle, from driving launch efforts to furthering the adoption of key blockchain technology. So let's welcome Michael Robinson.
Awesome. Thank you for the kind introduction. Yeah, thanks everyone. Happy 4th of July to anyone who's American out there, and a late happy Canada Day to Canadians as well. My name is Michael Robinson. I'm going to talk today about Chainlink data feeds. And yeah, thank you, Phil Toronto, for having me on to do this presentation. I'm going to go ahead and get started and make sure that everything's, yeah, perfect. Okay. So to get started, I'd like to just think of, why are we here? Why am I working in the space? Why is everyone so excited and passionate about Web3? It's an important question. And we at Chainlink Labs believe in a world powered by cryptographic truth. And what does that mean? So what is cryptographic truth? Well, cryptographic truth means agreements that are backed by cryptography rather than trust in a centralized intermediary. And so in this first little sketch, you can see, making a transaction in today's world, you're going to be dependent on a centralized intermediary, bank or whatever. Whereas with a world powered by cryptographic truth, you can make a decentralized transaction using a blockchain and not have a dependency or trust on a centralized entity, which, as we know, guarantees are only as strong as the party that you make them with. So we've seen time and time again issues with dependency on a centralized entity. And, the example with Robinhood a year ago, most people I'm sure are familiar with. Essentially, we've seen this time and time again. And we at Chainlink believe that cryptographic truth is the future of all reliable agreements. And so our body of work is all about enabling the path to cryptographic truth, enabling Web3 developers to build with cryptographic truth. And in today's presentation, I'm going to talk to you all about Chainlink data feeds that are helping enable that. And so how Chainlink really plays its part in this is that Chainlink is accelerating this global transition to cryptographic truth, which allows people like yourselves to build this world powered by truth. We have a lot at stake right now. There's a lot going on in the world, and I just think that it's a fantastic opportunity for us in this industry to build a better future and build a better world. And so now I'll get into talking a bit more about Chainlink data feeds. But to understand Chainlink data feeds, you need to understand the problem that we're solving for. And that is the Oracle problem. And if you haven't heard of what an oracle is in blockchain, essentially an oracle in the blockchain space is an entity that connects blockchains to external systems. And the oracle problem with blockchains is that blockchains, as we know, are highly secure. They're deterministic by nature, and the properties within blockchains are incredible and that make them, such fantastic platforms. But blockchains cannot inherently connect to real world data and events on their own. You cannot simply just hook up a API to a blockchain. It does not work, and it will not work like that, as I mentioned, due to the deterministic nature of blockchains. So in order to connect blockchains to real world data, be that weather data, be that the price of various different assets, sports data, whatever, you need an oracle. And without an oracle, the use cases for smart contracts are much more reduced. So blockchain oracles solving this problem enables a significant number of new use cases possible. And so it sounds simple in theory, but it's actually quite difficult in practice. And so solving this oracle problem of connecting real world data into blockchains has historically seen a lot of challenges. So, for example, if you're trying to get asset prices on chain, what we've seen is some projects trying to do single source oracles, which is vulnerable to centralized outages. We've seen people try to create their own oracles, which can run into issues with scalability and monitoring and complexity, and then also trying to use time-weighted average price oracles, which those themselves are subject to manipulation. And ultimately, centralized oracles introduce this major risk to any sort of decentralized application that is not using this a high quality data. If the centralized node falls over, your smart contract is no longer good. And we've seen this over the past few years, time and time again, whereby unsecure oracles lead to significant adversarial exploits. And so this was a major problem to our industry. Millions of dollars, as you can see there. Fortunately, enter Chainlink data feeds. So Chainlink data feeds solve the blockchain oracle problem. Chainlink data feeds provide Web3 developers with access to secure and reliable real-world data to power unique use cases for DeFi and even beyond. Chainlink data feeds are securing over $20 billion. We have over 1,000 Oracle networks, delivered over 3 billion points on chain, and have over 1,300 projects using Chainlink technology today. And why Chainlink data feeds are the market leader is because of the time-tested infrastructure. We use high-quality data sources. We're end-to-end decentralized, have a time-tested infrastructure, are blockchain agnostic on over 12 blockchains plus today, and also have transparent Oracle performance. How Chainlink data feeds work. So in this diagram here, I'll walk through from left to right. But essentially, if we're looking to get the price of a asset on chain, and let's just say it's whatever X token that some sort of project wants to use for a DeFi application. On the left, we have a number of different original data points that could come from centralized or decentralized exchanges. We then have data aggregators that aggregate a wide range of that data. And we then have Chainlink nodes that are Sybil resistant, tamper-proof, geo-distributed nodes that then take an aggregation from the data aggregators in order to come to a result that is ultimately posted on chain with a Oracle report that is totally transparent for everyone to see. So as you can kind of see here, there are 3 levels of data aggregation. So there's that data source level, there is the node operator level, and there's the Oracle network level. And at each level, it's an aggregation of data points prior to getting to that next level. So what this means is essentially, as a comparative example, if you had a DeFi application that was dependent on a single centralized Oracle that was pulling from one exchange, if that exchange went down or reported the wrong price by mistake, you're potentially subject to adversarial exploit. Whereas with the infrastructure here, if any of these instances go down, if an exchange price is off, the rest of the aggregated data will normalize for that, and the ultimate end result posted on chain is going to be accurate. So it's highly tamper-proof, highly reliable, highly secure way to get real-world data on chain. And here's an example of one of the price feeds for Ethereum versus USD. You can check this out at data.chain.link if you're interested. But essentially, you'll see here is all of the node operators. They are pulling, again, from those data aggregators, multiple different data aggregators, by the way. And then they're finally coming with one trusted answer that is on the top left. And if any one or multiple of these nodes do not report a price, the price feed still operates flawlessly. So that's kind of how Chainlink data feeds work with a price feed example for Ethereum versus USD. Let's talk a bit about some of the other use cases for Chainlink data feeds. We've seen price feeds, as I mentioned, powering just a wide range of use cases across DeFi. So for lending and borrowing, for example, Aave, securing billions of dollars in DeFi loans and borrows, and uses Chainlink price feeds when they're for core pieces to their protocol, mirrored assets, stable coins, asset management, options and futures. The use cases are continuing to grow. The Chainlink price feeds ecosystem is powering all sorts of different use cases across DeFi and continuing to expand. And in addition to price feeds, the expansion of Chainlink data feeds enabling the next generation of Web3 decentralized applications is another really exciting thing that we're seeing. So, for example, having smart contracts focused on parametric insurance. And what is parametric insurance? Well, parametric insurance is an insurance contract that execute when specific parameters are met. So an example could be monitoring the weather or the temperature. And if that reaches a certain threshold, the insurance contract could execute. We're seeing things like sports data being brought on chain. So dynamic NFT of an NBA superstar, where the NFT actually changes based on that player's statistics. We're seeing all sorts of other use cases across prediction markets and even predictive supply chain. These use cases are continuing to expand and grow. It's very exciting. As I'd mentioned, expanding beyond price feeds, we're seeing continued expansion of these generalized data feeds. So really enabling this next generation of Web3 applications. In the parametric insurance example, Arbol could look at things like rainfall in a particular area. And if there's not enough rainfall, then that could be clarified as or classified as a drought. So people can actually pay for insurance that is transacted on the blockchain totally transparently in a decentralized manner based on real world conditions. Another really exciting example is a project recently integrated with Chainlink called Trueflation. So we've all seen inflation right now is continuing to skyrocket. And the Trueflation team said, well, we want to bring this data onto the blockchain to see what people can build with it and to see the truth behind it. And so Trueflation is bringing custom US inflation index data to blockchains using Chainlink. So use cases continue to grow, and the opportunity for bringing real world data on chain using Chainlink, there's no better opportunity than now to build and explore these things. And if you are interested in building with Chainlink data feeds, recommend you check out data.chain.link. You can head over to the developer documentation as well, docs.chain.link. And of course, check out our website if you want to learn more, chain.link/data feeds. But in addition to data feeds, Chainlink is continuing to expand our suite of products and technologies. So beyond just data feeds that are now on 12 plus blockchains, we're also offering other products such as verifiable randomness for your smart contracts. We also enable automation, smart contract automation through Chainlink keepers, and are continuing to expand the product suite. So follow us to learn more, or check out our developer docs as well if you want to learn more about the other products listed here. So thank you very much, Phil Toronto. And if anyone wants to keep the conversation going, feel free to reach out to me. Always love to chat with like-minded people, and can put you into contact with anyone who may be of interest to you at Chainlink Labs as well.